Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. For the third time trying this, I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
Now, are we getting this off the ground, actually? Are we doing it?
I feel like our problem the past couple of weeks has just been like all of our tangents before we actually start recording.
I mean, I think the tangents are kind of fun before we start, you know?
Yeah, it's more the lack of a deadline today. Like, we're 20 minutes out from our usual, we need to be done.
Yeah, this time we're just having fun, chatting beforehand.
Look, I'm a little lost in the woods right now because The Bachelorette ended, and I don't have any Bachelor Nation content to be watching until the end of September. So, yeah, floating away. Floating in a sea of I don't know what to do with myself now in my time.
Watch NASCAR.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
No. That is a terrible idea.
What?
And
It's
as I say
gonna-
this while we're like recording a racing podcast.
It's going to be like The Bachelor. There's going to be a couple weeks. Some people are going to get sent home from the playoffs. And eventually only one will be left remaining.
You know what?
Shit, he's got a point.
I hate the fact that Steven's right about this.
There's different challenges for people to complete.
There are no there are challenges. Bachelor. Like,
Yeah,
kind
damn-
of. They're
damn
not like challenges.
So the playoffs are NASCAR's Bachelor.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's not what you're saying. What?
Don't worry.
Well, he nodded his head at the same time
I am very confused.
as
Yeah.
him saying
Exactly. That's the point.
No, you're supposed to shake your head when you agree.
No.
But yeah, okay, anyway.
Keep it going.
Okay, we're on to this. So NASCAR, is that what we're starting with, Steven, since you're bringing up NASCAR?
Sure, go for it. End of the regular season.
And what happened? What happened? What happened?
that. And Chase Elliot is not in the playoffs?
Sean was right. Chase Elliot did not make the playoffs.
Oh, wah, 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 wah.
He gave
wow.
it a good try, I'm not going to lie. He was close.
He did.
He-
Like when he got third, right?
Fourth.
He's third?
Fourth, and he did not
Fourth?
have a single friend around him.
No one wanted to help him.
No. Like, he had Bowman,
That's
and that was
sad.
it.
Yeah, he had, but I think at one point he was pushing Bowman. And it was like,
Yeah.
well, it was like Bowman, Elliott, Larson, who was a lap down, I think, at the time. So you had the Hendrick guys there, and, you know, you had a chance, but who are you going to push to the
But
win?
you're pushing against the Fords,
Yeah.
who have been proving that they're really good at pushing.
And flying.
Yes.
We'll get to that point. But yeah, so RFK Racing got the win, got the 1-2 actually. Like, I think you knew going into that last lap when Keselowski's pushing, it's like, okay, yeah, they have this. He's not going to go for it. He's going to keep pushing him to the line.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't care. It's his car. Why? I don't need to win. I'm winning anyway.
Yep.
So yeah. And
It's a win-win.
yeah, Bubba got in on points. As I also said, he was safe.
Woohoo!
No, he almost wasn't.
It was very close to not.
Yeah,
What was the final difference in the end?
because it was Ty Gibbs that almost knocked him out, or that was the challenge.
Suarez.
I thought Suarez fell
was-
out of that at the end.
Suarez beat Gibbs by 6 points.
Oh wow, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, and now everyone that wasn't in the playoffs is irrelevant for the rest of the year. Thanks for coming. Show up, do your thing. We're not talking about you.
Yeah.
Until when Chase Elliott inevitably
Thanks
wins,
for coming.
he's gonna win the playoffs.
And he'll somehow win the owners championship, which is what actually pays the money. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
But yeah. So did you watch the race, Steven? I'm not even gonna bother asking Taylor.
I was busy.
Watched part of it, but I also watched the full replay last night. So
Okay, I watched the whole thing.
Or
I
watched most
enjoyed
of
it a
it.
lot. It was actually.
It was a good
It was.
Daytona. Yeah,
It was.
it's amazing what happens when you knock 100 miles off the race, and you just don't make it like, well, we'll just run until. And part of it is also, I guess, the jockeying for playoff positions and just a lot of guys trying to stay clean so they can bank points, because you had 3 guys coming in that basically just wanted to try and get points and then hope for a lucky wreck out. You had a bunch of guys that felt like they should be in the playoffs, namely, again, those guys that were on points, and then Bowman and Elliott, maybe even Cindric.
Well, there was definitely a point in the race where I thought you could see a random winner.
Yep.
Like
when they were, racing 3 wide
and
keeping it clean?
You had 3 wide racing. It was all clean. Though you couldn't really jockey well. It was mostly still like get in the push and go with momentum. But
yeah, again,
that's the nature of plate racing now.
Supers.
Stick with the line and hope it works. But no, I think it was after the end of the second stage when they had that big wreck that at the front of the field when I think it was
Blaney.
Was it Gibbs that pushed Blaney?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gibbs pushed Blaney and took out a bunch of guys who had previously won. Like, who was out in that wreck? You had Blaney out, you had Gibbs out, I think you had Stenhouse out.
Blaney, Gibbs, Stenhouse, Cindric, Herbst, Poole.
I think also you had a couple guys. I think Hamlin got spun in that. Like maybe Larson was damaged. Amazing part of that whole wreck was Chase Elliot got through clean.
Yep.
And you kind of felt after that
good.
wreck, it was like, oh shit, maybe Elliot can do this. Like it's like the racing gods are on his side.
Maybe there's hope.
No, really.
They wanted the drama.
Yeah.
Not
and
fun if
he was
we
there.
have all the playoffs.
He was there at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just needed a friend.
Well,
don't we all?
Yes.
You've got a friend in me.
Can I have a hug, guys?
You're kind of far, so.
Oh, I was expecting you to say fuck off. So I'll take that. You know what? I will take that. And yeah, pretty much that was the only major incident of the race was that big one at the end of the second stage. And then we had the
oh boy,
the Ryan Priest crash, which was
a weird one.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say fucking nuts. Like, you don't see a NASCAR like old style blowover like that where they just catch wind underneath it and just go up and over and flip and roll like that.
Yeah, that was insane. Like when you had sent that in the group chat, I was like, oh, what is this gonna be? And then when I watched it, I was like, oh, that is bad. Like, I'm glad that he got out of the car, but like it flips over, stops, and like you could see the flames. Like as soon as it stopped, it caught fire, and you're like, oh my gosh, like is this guy gonna make it out of this car?
And like even that when it happened live, amazing drone shot of that, because that was the live shot, was the drone above. It's like, oh boy. Drone or blimp or whatever. I thought it was a drone, maybe a blimp actually, but it was the aerial shot of it. And yeah, that car flew. And I feel like when you watched it live, because that higher angle, you didn't really see how bad it was. But when they went to the other angle, it's like, that thing is up there. Like it
turns like 5 times in the air.
I think it had 12 total. I think
12
flips.
Total, but like before, like when it got to its highest point, it had like 5 turns before it then landed back down.
It was like 5 consecutive barrel rolls in the air. Yeah, that definitely did not feel good.
It's not bad.
Oh,
or it's not good. It's not good when people could instantly just paste the Ricky Bobby flip, and it's like they cut to commercial and then come back. Holy shit, he's still going.
Yeah, honestly.
It's not good when you're looking at it. It's like, yeah, no, that's basically what happened.
Yeah, it was a long one.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed the race? You want to know what happened? You watched Talladega Nights? Yeah, basically that.
What was it? That wreck reminded me of like, again, old 80s, 90s, like either like a Davey Allison flip, like a Rusty Wallace flip back in the day, where like that would happen. A car would get turned catch air on its own and just roll and barrel roll and just shred its parts as it went. And like, you know what?
Yeah.
That car looked awful when it was done. I mean, the main, sell of the car was good, and that's always a great thing. But when you see like how, I was gonna say in Blaney's crash, right? When he hit that wall a ton, almost Dale Earnhardt-esque in terms of in the corner, straight up the track.
Oof.
Yep.
Pancake the front of that car. The car is still intact. Like, not a whole lot of parts come off these modern next-gen cars. But the way Priest's car flipped, yeah, that thing, like, it was missing a chunk out of the front. You could actually see when it, like, was coming down the slow-mo, it had a bend in the actual, like, tub of the car, I guess, where the front of it is not where it aligned how it should be. Like, the amount of safety in these cars is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what was the big thing last year? What was the big issue with the safety aspect?
It was too stiff.
Concussions.
Yeah.
That was the big issue. But this is also why they have to build it this way. They have to build it stiff so it's strong enough to withstand hits like these, though they aren't as common anymore.
But like,
it has to have some rigidness, I guess. Yeah,
but like,
sure.
I don't know if it is stiff though, because like it did shedding parts in those kind of wrecks is a good thing, and we definitely saw that with the Priest wreck. Is it got beaten to shit. It wasn't just like I think in the past you've seen more flips where the cars have stayed relatively intact. Actually, like maybe they roll over twice, something like that happens, but the car looks like it can almost drive again.
Yep.
But like this thing was like, yeah, like it's a write-off completely.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
NASCAR is definitely gonna take that car back and be like, okay, what happened here?
The survival cell, good.
Yeah.
Everything else, what can we do?
Though I did see people concerned that the roof hatch was open during the crash, and like you could see Priest based on one of the angles of when the car like flips over and it has like roof towards the camera. You can actually see Ryan Priest sitting there, and people are like, "Well, he's exposed. He's this." It's like, no, not actually. Like, the fact that actually went away is a good thing, because the whole point of the roof hatch is an extraction. If you can't get out of the car, either because it's, say, mangled or you're stuck against something, you have a secondary option to get out of. Like, that hatch is always there. It always acts as though it's basically not there, right? Like, there's no real protection there if you were to get hit on it, but it still it's built around it so that's safe. So losing that piece of bodywork, I don't think actually puts the driver in danger at all. It's just a good thing, because imagine that car landed on its side, on like the window or something. Well, then you're crawling out through the roof hatch, which is safer.
Yeah.
Or if you're hurt and you can't get out of the car, instead of having to cut a driver out of the car, which takes time, a lot of effort, that roof hatch allows you to actually pluck the driver essentially out of the car still in their seat. Which any kind of like spinal injury or anything like that, like which you could happen in that crash, in that type of crash, you're flying through the air. If you land badly, you could easily fracture a spine, have some kind of like compression fracture or something just from the hits. Like, I think all of NASCAR safety innovations were showed off this race in Daytona. So like you saw how safe it was. It was an entertaining race, and it was relatively clean, except 2 big incidents. But besides that,
that's for a NASCAR race. That's pretty clean.
Yeah. If I'm NASCAR, I'm walking away from this event of being like, well, that was a win.
Yep. Easily. Well, you made the comparison of Blaney's crash to Dale, so
Yep.
people not dying. That's good.
So where was this on the? Was it a good race-o-meter?
Oh, you know what? I did not check that. So
I didn't see that either.
Stall for me.
I'm okay. Taylor, thoughts on cars, NASCAR, stuff like that? Anything new?
Thoughts on NASCAR?
I don't know. I'm trying to stall for Steven. We're not good at this. We don't have to stall.
You're Why do we have to stall? We know that what he's doing. He's just looking up the Jeff Gluck. Was it a good race-o-meter?
Well, I beat him to it while stalling. Man, you're really bad at that, Steven.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
91.1%.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is a new
Well, there you go.
track record.
Is it?
Apparently.
Really?
I'm going to trust the guy that keeps the stats. So, yeah, it's a new track record.
Nice. But yeah, I think that's a fair evaluation of that race. It was one of the more entertaining ones I think I've watched this year in NASCAR.
Yep.
In fact, I would argue the NASCAR race Daytona was the most entertaining race of the weekend.
Pretty low bar, but sure. Actually, no. No, the Dutch was... Anywho.
Was it?
The Dutch was interesting. It was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Let's talk Dutch Grand Prix then. I don't have
Like
anything
it's-
else to add for NASCAR. So.
No.
Well.
Hold on.
No?
We have to talk about the standings of our fantasy teams first.
Oh, no. We have to talk about the playoff. No. Okay, we can do fantasy if you want.
We are doing fantasy because it's the end of the regular season. Who won?
You
Well,
really,
it definitely wasn't me.
No.
do you
Definitely
really want to
wasn't
go down this road, Taylor?
Well, it was between me and Sean. I know that, but like, am I gonna be sorely disappointed or like what happened?
me. It definitely wasn't me. So I had Austin Dillon, and he didn't score over 400 points. Everybody else had at least 695 points or more. Sorry,
Austin Dillon,
674.
ouch.
Yeah.
That's a choice.
Oof.
Yeah, he after the start of the
He was the
season
cement
when
brick.
him and Bush won the Clash, I was like they could both do well this year, and then Kyle Busch did, and
That's it.
Austin Dillon not so much, and he took a
Ouch.
60-point penalty, which doesn't help. But
Ooh.
anywho, so I finished with 2,591 points for third place. I was 301 points behind the winner. Both of you
Oh. Okay.
scored over 2,850 points. One of you
Ooh.
had 2,892. The other had 2,853 for a
Ooh.
difference of 39 points.
I was hoping to be like off by like 1 point.
Not quite. Do you want to guess who had what? Because Taylor had the lowest person and the highest person out of those two, out of all your drivers. She had
Do you want to name
Byron
the
at
teams?
8. Okay, so yeah, I guess first I had the 9. So I had the 9 car, which I just put as Chase Elliott. I also had the highest of all the drivers picked with Denny Hamlin at 836. I had Logano and Austin Dillon.
Mhm.
Man, that Dillon pick killed you, man.
Yeah.
It did. That's
Yeah.
why I'm 301 points behind.
Makes sense.
Taylor had Chastain, Byron, who was the highest of the last 8 drivers here. Bell and
Mhm.
Suarez, who was the lowest of the 8 drivers here.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Sean had Larson, Blaney, Reddick, and Bush, who were all like within 40 points of each other. So
Oh.
I'm gonna guess I was the best.
you would guess wrong.
Damn it!
Taylor beat you by 39 points.
Yes!
Damn it!
Thank you. I want to thank my hatred of NASCAR for the last few
And this has
years.
been Taylor's last show on the podcast. Thanks for joining
I
us,
wanna
Taylor.
Oh wow. Yes, I feel so wow. Thank you, Byron, for doing really well. And also Chastain, he had a good like second half of the season. I feel
he
and
had a
Suarez
horrible
came
second
back.
half. He had
He had
a
a great first
horrible
half.
second half of the season. He had a good first half.
Sorry. Good first half. But and then Suarez kind of picked it up after like the second half he kind of did okay. And then Bell was just a little consistent, so
That was pretty
good
consistent.
for me for choosing things.
Nah, that's not bad.
Yay!
But yeah, 39 points.
Wow.
Pretty close result in the end.
Yeah,
Well-
not bad at all.
I will
So-
take the one and only fantasy win that I will have this year. Thank you. Bye.
That trust me, it is the one and only fantasy win you will have this year. I had a look at the other two. You are not close.
I was also going to include fantasy football in that because I don't think you're going to come close to winning.
Oh, I've
but
already
anyway.
given up. I drafted and gave up immediately.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's lame. Anyway,
I'm
I'll take
realistic.
this win, and I will ride the brag. You know what? The thing is it's even better because I don't want.
Okay, moving on.
As much.
So Dutch Grand Prix, where fans are
Yeah,
even
okay.
No, I'm saying, Taylor, you're being an insufferable fan, and there's even less of those at the Dutch Grand Prix. So let's talk about that instead.
That's saying something. I thought you were
exactly.
just gonna go for the easy ego swipe here. Just completely topple that ego.
I'm a
That
Ferrari fan. What can I say?
Exactly.
Leclerc didn't even finish.
That wasn't even the worst part of
Yeah,
Ferrari's weekend.
honestly,
It actually wasn't. It was so bad.
I don't blame Ferrari at all. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Fuck it. Okay, so
Yeah.
what happened in the race? Race started perfectly fine,
No.
green to start. Immediately rains the second they start the race.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
Yes.
and
what
then
did Ferrari
I was gonna say,
do?
before we get to the Ferrari, the next 6 laps were absolutely fucking chaos.
Yes.
They were. It was interesting because it's like every team kind of handled it so differently.
Yep.
You had the teams who were like, rain started, we're calling it, Inters, that's it. And then Mercedes was like, you're gonna have to suck it up, Lewis, and you're just gonna drive.
Yep.
And Ferrari,
Albon powered through it.
Yes, he did.
One,
Scarily.
One team made the absolute okay. There's actually a team that did worse than Ferrari when it came to strategy, and we'll get to that.
The thing is I don't know though, if I'm not sure we can say that Ferrari's strategy was bad, but I think Leclerc made the call. They said they weren't ready. Leclerc went in anyway, and I think the way it was portrayed on the screen was a lot more of a clown show than I think it actually was.
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, I understand why Leclerc called it, because every other time this year where he has made a call, Ferrari has told him no.
And it ended up being the wrong call by Ferrari.
True. Yes, that's fair.
Here's a
that's
question.
Totally fair.
Was it the right time to pit?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely it was. Do I
It
fault
was the right time
Ferrari
to pit.
not having their tires ready in literally under 10 seconds?
Yes.
No.
No. No.
Why
I
did
think
all
it was
the other
just a
teams?
combination.
Why did everyone else get it
Well,
right?
They didn't, though.
They
Perez
didn't.
Perez got in and out.
Yeah, that's Red Bull, though. But Perez also got
But
held in
that's
his
Red Bull.
box when everyone went by him.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
you can't put on the team necessarily.
No, true,
right?
but Ferrari also, by the time its stop was done and out, they were, and I'm sure Red Bull was a little more on the ball when it comes to pit stops, as they always are.
They probably anticipated it as soon as they saw droplets. They were like, get the tires ready.
Yeah, you got to have it ready. Ferrari
Be
definitely
ready.
did. So
And
Agreed,
that's why you
agreed.
can still blame the team.
yes, there is still blame
true.
there.
You are a
Very
professional
true.
team. And if everyone else was standing ready, where were the tires? That's all you need to ask.
Okay, maybe it was all Ferrari's fault. I was trying
And
to give
or
defense.
or look at the radar.
Yeah, that's
or
fair.
Yeah, I mean,
They-
it was not. It was not ideal.
It
It
looked
really
like
wasn't.
it looked like they didn't know. It looked like they thought it was gonna be a sunshiny day all day. That's where I will criticize.
And that's a fair criticism because I think you're right. They weren't ready for rain. And it looked that way on the broadcast too.
So
So
can't tell what Sean's
Yeah.
trying to look up now to prove me wrong.
No, I'm actually looking up. I'm trying to find the actual graph of all the different teams and the tire strategy and pit stops and stuff like that. So anyway, keep going.
I've got it somewhat pulled up, but and it looks like some teams were not necessarily ready, but it also you got Liam Lawson here who was 42 seconds, but he was double stacked, 30 seconds behind
Yeah.
Sonoda. So
how
it
much
looks like
did they really-
Sonoda And it looks like Tsunoda had a slow stop at some point in there.
Was
So-
it because he lacked tires?
That I do not know. I'd have to go back and watch the actual like onboard replay.
Yeah. It's,
So- Either way, if you're comparing yourself to the worst team to the team that has had more drivers than they do points, and you are Ferrari, that's probably not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
fair
Well,
enough.
Anywho,
Yeah. Here's the one chart. It's all the changes of in the first 5 laps of the race.
40 fucking changes.
Yeah. Verstappen lost 3 spots from the lead, went to 4th. Perez jumped up to the lead, gained 6 spots. Zhou gained
Yeah.
13.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you know it was the right call to make the pit stop. Zhou was in the top 2 at one point, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. He was running P2 at one point. But
So-
I don't know. Like aside from Ferrari's kind of fumbling of the bag, which is typical, I found it very interesting with Mercedes. Like it sounded a lot like Lewis wanted to come in, he wanted inters. They eventually got inters. But yeah. The engineer just being like, "You're just going to have to suck it up, dude. Just drive."
Yeah. Amazing of all the guys that stopped on the first lap to pit, only 2 of them finished in the points.
Really?
Yep.
Who?
Perez and Gasly.
Wow. Well, yeah, I know.
Leclerc was the other.
Didn't finish.
He was out.
Zhou was the
He
other.
didn't finish.
He finished
In the
way
wall.
He
down.
finished low.
We had the red flag.
Oh
as
yes,
in.
in the wall.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Magnussen, Lawson, and Tsunoda. So, was it the right call?
It's still the right call.
Yeah, probably it was. It
Well,
it worked for Perez
the-
well.
The tough
It
part
did work
is
for Perez.
basically because I was gonna say this watching like the replay of it. I was like, and having listened to a podcast before, it was like, well, Alonso, like Aston Martin fucked up Alonso's pit stop at one point, and that was an 8-second stop. But because it happened before the red flag, it affects his track position. But at the end, like his tires are still fine because he, like everybody was swapped their tires over.
Yeah, Alonso had a
So
Alonso and Verstappen essentially were on the same strategy. They pit
Yeah.
they pit on the second lap.
yeah,
I say Aston Martin completely nailed their strategy with Alonso.
they fucked over Stroll.
Oh my god, he had 5 stops this race.
I mean, a lot of people had a lot of stops, so it's not like it's.
Okay, he stopped.
But
he
it's how long they held him out on the first stop.
went 4 laps in the first tires.
Yeah, that's too much.
Then he pit,
Yeah.
and then 5 laps later, pit again.
That's an
So he
issue.
was on the inters for 5 laps.
And then what? Went to the ineffective wets?
Nope, went to softs for 7 laps, and then went
Okay.
to the mediums, and then he had his medium stint, soft stint, back to the inters at the end. If they had left Stroll out on the wets, or on the softs to start, basically pulling Albon, he's up in the points.
Yeah.
He's probably finishing ahead of Hamilton.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Stroll had a good race, considering how far back he was put.
People are going to give him shit that he wasn't in the points this race.
Yeah, there are a lot
That's
of
a minute of lost time in the pit lane.
there's a lot
Mhm.
of things you can criticize Stroll for this year about not keeping up with Alonso at certain times. This was
Yeah.
actually this is a good performance.
Yeah.
He got hamstrung to hell and back, and then still was 11th, right?
11th, just ahead of the points, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
This
that's
was-
not bad for what he went through.
You think?
just couldn't make up the goddamn mind.
Yeah, he. I
Yeah,
felt
it was
bad
a
for
little
him.
bit of like a weird race for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also found it like Red Bull's call for Perez, like towards the end of the race, was also a little bit intriguing. And like I heard like the rationale that Red Bull had, which now I can't remember what it was, they had some sort of justification for why it made sense. But yet, I don't know, like to bring him in, knowing that it's probably going to be a red flag. Like as soon as Joe went into the wall, as soon as the rain happened, something was going to happen. It was going to be a red flag at some point. So to bring him in was just a really like unnecessary call to make. And struck me very much as like very odd.
Yeah, I think they didn't know what to do with Perez at the end there, especially when they. But yeah, they gave up a spot there.
Was that guarding against?
Yeah, they gave it up.
Maybe. But yeah, I think that was a dumb call for the Perez thing.
Yeah, like it just didn't really make any sense because like what were you hoping to gain from that? Like
in my mind, Perez should have lost more. Like he should have lost a lap because he was in the pit lane.
Like he's lucky.
He is. I think they could have really been mean to him. And it's like, okay, race is stopped.
They could have.
Here. Everyone's still out there. Yeah, he could have lost a lap there to Verstappen.
Yeah. But he's lucky that they decided to go back to like whatever the grid was before the red flag or something.
Last timing loop.
Yeah, the last timing loop. Yeah. So they are actually really lucky. But it was really weird. It was a massive risk to take. Unnecessarily.
Yes. And he fucking sped in the pit lane and screwed himself over.
Yeah.
That does not help, no.
Oh.
No. So. It worked for Gasly, though. Gasly and Alpine had a really good race. They needed that.
Double points.
They really did need that.
A podium.
I'm really happy for Gasly.
Oh, and who was...
I think he really needed that.
Who was best of the rest? Whose prediction was it? That Alonso would be second best? Because we all assume Max would win, so I'm just gonna say.
Who did I say? I'm trying to remember who I said. I think I said Norris.
You said Piastri, I'm pretty sure.
Or Piastri.
Oh, I think that was me. I don't know. I don't remember.
When you said Mercedes, when you said McLaren.
Oh, maybe I did. Oh, I did say. Yeah, you're right. I did say Hamilton. That's probably why he didn't do very well.
Yeah, rough day for the Mercs. Rough day for Ferrari. Yeah. Good day for Verstappen. He did have a good race though. He did. He drove well. Like you can't deny that. And he got the 9 race wins in a row record.
Yep.
He tied it. Yes.
Yeah, tied it
with Vettel.
Tied it with Vettel.
Break it at Monza.
Yep, because we all know, even though I'm a Ferrari fan and am delusional and still believe that we'll win at Monza, we won't win at Monza, and Verstappen will be hearing the Dutch national anthem again.
I don't know. Did you see the Monza curse thing also?
Yes.
Everyone who's okay, let's talk about Monza quickly.
Well, that's like
everyone who's last 4 years, everyone who's won at Monza the previous year did not finish. Or the next year after they won, they didn't finish.
Okay.
We can hope.
So there is hope that Max may not, because Monza curse or some shit like that. But on the flip side, so Max is not going to win because Monza curse. We know the Ferraris are not going to win because they have a one-off livery.
Yeah.
True.
No one does well with a one-off.
That's right. True. That's very true.
What was your take on the one-off, the yellow?
All of the TikToks.
McDonald's.
Leclerc working at McDonald's. I was like, oh god.
Or Ferrari and Ronald McDonald outfits because they're clowns.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of good memes. The actual car I actually like the look of it.
Yeah.
I actually like the return to like the old Ferrari logo or like the font or whatever that they used for Ferrari. I think it's a really nice return to an older look.
Yeah.
It does look a little McDonald's-y, and their uniforms, I think when they changed the livery and like the kit last year, it started to look very McDonald's-y, like the modern McDonald's uniforms, but I don't know. I like the look. If they could keep that old kind of like the way that they would style like Ferrari, like they did back in the day, I would love that if they just like kept that permanently.
Yeah, I like it.
It's the right call, so you know they won't.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, exactly.
So Max ain't winning. Ferrari ain't winning. Who's gonna win?
How do we
at
know?
Monza?
What if
Give me Albon.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Straight
actually a
lane,
good pick?
straight line speed. What is Williams doing really well? Straight line speed.
I was surprised at how well they did, and like, oh, Sargent was through it this weekend. But honestly, I don't hate that. It would be amazing to see, like probably the first Williams win in like how long?
So yeah, I already did my fuck it $5 bet of the week.
Oh, what is it?
Let's stroll, baby.
God.
Of
Why?
course
Because
it
it's
is.
supposed to rain?
Oh shit, is it?
Yes.
Oh, even better.
40% chance of rain.
Oh my god, it's gonna rain. He's gonna win. He's already got the confidence because he was making out with some chick on a boat. Man,
Oh my gosh.
Stroll is riding a high. He actually has confidence for once. Yeah, he's gonna do it. And the internet is going to make fun of him for being like, well, yeah, of course. Look at like Alpha Stroll or something when like he's out there on a boat and goes and wins. Yeah, you know what? That's gonna happen. For the memes,
not
that
gonna
would be
happen.
hilarious.
It won't happen, but I love it for the memes.
For
You wouldn't
This
be the
logic,
whole
first
theory that
surprise.
you're going with?
He wouldn't be the first surprise winner at Monza.
No,
Even
there are
in the
tons
last
of,
couple of
that's the whole
years.
point of
Mhm.
Monza.
yeah, it's kind of been a anything can happen race.
Do it.
And we just said how good of a race he had despite his team handicapping
Fucking him over.
That's one way to say it.
True. Well, I'm going to say I don't know, maybe Ferrari breaks the curse this time around.
Though I am agreeing with Steve. I'm putting
Maybe
2 bucks in Albon.
Albon's a good choice. Like that would be really exciting. That would be super exciting to see.
So yeah. Anything else? F1, or at least from the race itself, because there's one last thing I think we have to talk about.
I think that's basically it for the race, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Albon did
Lots of
good.
rain happened.
Looking through the final standings, Albon good, Gasly good, Alonso good, McLaren and Stroll got fucked. Liam Lawson.
That's where I was
Finishing
going with
third.
next with the.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well,
finished?
Ricciardo. We kind of got to mention Ricciardo.
Oh, right. Yeah, he broke his wrist.
Let go of the wheel, my friend. Let Jesus
That's
take
like
you.
driver number 1.
That was
Driving
also an
number
awkward
1. Rule
crash.
number
Driving
1.
rule.
It was a weird crash.
But yeah, he should.
But still, you let go of the wheel.
100%. Don't. Oh, it's such a dumb accident. And like all the hype for Ricciardo to be back, he had a broken wrist or broken
Hey, it
hand.
looked like he was doing
Okay.
in practice.
Yeah. So like when I heard this happened and that he would be out because he broke his wrist, I was like, somewhere in the world is Nick DeVries just sitting around being like, what the hell?
I'm actually annoyed they didn't put DeVries in.
Well, of course they wouldn't put DeVries in. He probably said like, I like screw you all like for basically dropping me. I wouldn't. It's not like he had a chance anyway to stay in the seat. He was going to be replaced again once Ricciardo's back. I mean, he's going to see the same doctor that Stroll did, so he'll be back by next race.
One, he's already ruled out of Italy. Two, there's a slight difference between hitting a wall in a race car and falling off your bike.
And I think
Broken wrist's a broken wrist.
no, I think Stroll broke more of like this area.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Ricciardo's is more in his hand.
Yeah.
That's going to be rough.
Yeah, I think
So
I
it's
saw
going to take a
something
little bit of
say-
time.
Yeah, I think I saw something that said he won't return to Qatar.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Eesh. That sucks.
his career's done.
To be so excited to like come back, you know, you get a shot to prove yourself. Red Bull's excited about you. Broken wrist. That sucks.
Ricciardo not letting go of that wheel may have just ended his F1 career. Because fine.
Yeah, and
fine.
it was such a rookie thing to do
It
too,
is.
you know?
Like, let's say he's out till Qatar. Liam Lawson comes in. What if Lawson can prove he's actually capable? And then Yuki, obviously, is your team leader. And if maybe you take Yuki to the big team next year, you drop Perez because fuck it. You bring Lawson in and maybe someone else, and that's your AlphaTauri team. And Ricciardo, by not letting go of that wheel, has lost any chance he has of being back in F1 next year. And then his career's over. So
Might be a bit of a stretch, but it's definitely possible.
we'll see how the year plays out with Lawson.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
well-
he wasn't terrible.
No,
No.
He was,
No, he was
adequate.
good.
Yeah.
he was. I would say he was good considering he only got in the car on Saturday,
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
right? Like, he didn't have a whole lot of time to prep, and he's still in the worst car on the grid. That being said, Ricciardo does get, if he is back by Qatar, which is first weekend in October, he's racing 6 of the last 9 races. Still,
Yeah.
lots of chances.
So
to
he
prove
still has a
that
lot of
he's-
opportunity.
Yes,
I think Qatar was like the
Can-
last 4 races. Really? There's that many
Nope.
left? Wow.
there's Qatar, Coda, Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi.
I felt, for some reason, I didn't know where Qatar was on the calendar, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
so maybe it's
you
not bad.
you also have Las Vegas squeezed in there, so
Maybe it's not so bad for him. But if Lawson has any fantastic performances, yeah, he's done.
I wouldn't disagree
Yeah,
with that.
pretty much.
Because if you're AlphaTauri, why are you putting your eggs into a
Yeah.
33-year-old basket versus a 22-year-old basket?
But like
If that makes
one good performance in F1 could set you for the next 2 years in that sport. Like,
But it is AlphaTauri
but I was gonna say, like, De Vries got his AlphaTauri seat last year because because of Monza.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't last, but that's why he was in the first place.
But
mean,
that's
kind
that
That is kind of rude to his Formula E wins and stuff, but
yes.
that really
But-
proved at least at the time, proved he could make it in F1.
Yeah.
Mm.
But again, we can see that one, it's very easy to go from, oh, you finished in the points in your first ever F1 race, fantastic, good job, you definitely deserve to be here, to he didn't really show up in Singapore or Japan or Italy, and it's like maybe he's not quite as all hyped up. He just got some luck with the rain and some like all the cars ahead of him being off strategy and getting out, and it's very easily flipped.
Yep,
So we'll see what happens.
we will. So I guess on to finally IndyCar, which
Do we really want to?
there's not a whole lot of notes here.
Here, you want the you want the synopsis? It became a
Yes,
fuel
because I
mileage.
didn't see it.
Became a fuel mileage.
Oh.
mileage race.
The guy who
Who
won.
What
does
do you
really
mean
well.
by that?
The guy who won made one less pit stop than everyone else.
Dixon?
There you go.
Don't even need to say his name.
I mean, yeah.
Oh
There's not a whole
boy.
lot to add there.
Yeah, literally, it became a fuel mileage race. Everyone else is confused about how the guy who won did it. I will give you 2 guesses, and if you don't get it on the first guess, you're stupid.
Yeah.
That's literally the synopsis of the race.
Yeah, that was...
Fair enough.
So, yeah. And then we have in IndyCar news, though, some driver announcements.
Lots of driver announcements everywhere.
You want to take those, Steven?
Sure. Are we just starting with IndyCar?
Yeah, take the IndyCar ones for now, and then we'll go through the rest.
Yuri Vips is driving the last 2 races for RLL.
Don't know how I feel about that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird one. But, I
feel like if you have some kind of troubled past, IndyCar, come on down. Doors open.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that. Doesn't sit well, but all right.
If he also gets the seat for next year, which I think is likely at this point, I don't want to make the joke of, if I had a nickel for every time someone raced an IndyCar who dropped an R-bomb on a live stream, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not a lot. It's weird that's happened twice with Vips and Kyle Larson next year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not sure how I feel about that. And I wish him mediocrity.
There you go.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Oh, but he went through training. He went through all... You're still old enough.
No, we still wish you mediocrity.
Yeah, exactly. Bye. Okay, so that's one of them.
What was the other IndyCar one?
Was there another one?
Was there? No, I thought you had hinted at another one. F1, K-Mag and Hulkenberg back for Haas.
Also, it was the IndyCar one was Blomqvist is going to finish for the 60 for the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah, that was sort of... minor.
Right, okay.
But official.
Yeah, so someone with Quist was racing in a pink car. I don't know.
All the Quists.
Anywho,
So many
K-Mag and
Quists.
Hulkenberg are back, so that's 2 more seats in F1 that are wrapped up, I guess. Logan Sargent isn't going to be the American driver on the American team. I don't know.
Yeah.
No surprise.
I don't know.
No.
I'm not surprised,
I think
really.
that's Gene Haas. That's Gene and Gunter.
Yeah.
They like staying the course. They like a steady ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They experimented one time and they hated it.
Well, they also experimented one time with like the worst experimental person you could have taken.
Yeah, speaking of shitbags in IndyCar, I'm surprised Mazepin hasn't ended up there yet.
I'd stop watching.
I don't think they're touching that with the 10-foot pole.
I don't know if they get the sanctioned money out of Russia or not.
No. What money?
Exactly.
It's all
I
worth
think
nothing
toilet
now.
paper is more valuable than our fucking... Yeah. Anyway.
And then I guess the last one being NASCAR for driver news. The sad news of Kurt Busch finally announcing his retirement, which not really surprising.
Oh.
Still kind of sad that this is the way he goes out.
Yeah, just with a whimper.
Yeah.
Yep. And
sucks.
you can see how much it meant, or how much he meant to other drivers in the paddock, because like just a whole slew of names decided to show up for his announcement in the garage. So
Yeah.
that was nice to see.
It is a shame. It really is.
It is. You don't want to, because, well, and here's the other thing I immediately thought to, which is you see all the moves that are happening at Meyer-Shank. Is Pagano like 6 months away from doing the same thing?
Yeah, and it was announced that he's also done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the part of the Blomqvist announcement. So
Yeah. That's not surprising.
it's a shame. It's a shame that this is how we are losing to solid drivers from 2 different perspective series. It is good that they are taking the health side of things seriously in terms of concussions.
Yes.
But doesn't change the fact that in the end, it is still not the way that anyone wants to leave the series or their respective series.
True.
But it does sound like Busch will still be around the paddock, which is nice. Be in the garage, helping teams out. And
I would like to see him spot his brother. Kyle Busch gets spotted by Kurt Busch to finally win the 500.
There you go.
That would be a great story.
That would be a great story.
Well, I mean, he's got time to figure out, now that he's officially announced it, he can figure out what he wants to do, right?
Yeah.
If it's being the spotter or maybe being the crew chief, doing something up top on the stand,
Getting ownership, maybe. Go.
get into ownership, could easily do that.
Go like,
Lots of different options for him now, but
Kyle and Kurt both get a team together. The Bush brothers.
there you go. They're gonna steal Kevin Harvick's sponsor, so
Well, he doesn't need it anymore.
no, that's true. He does not.
So yeah.
I guess if we want to end it on not a necessarily a happier note, but do we want to do playoff predictions for NASCAR?
Yes, because I already have my bets.
Okay. Sure. So a reminder that your 16 car playoff grid is, starting from the top, Byron, Truex, Hamlin, Busher's fourth, holy shit, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Bell, Chastain, Keselowski, Reddick, Logano, Blaney, which gets to our cut line of McDowell, Stenhouse, Harvick, Wallace.
That's fair.
So, thinking about how we want to do this. Do we want to do, in the spirit of it being the NFL season, and this may just have to do with the fact that I did like 3 or 4 fantasy drafts this weekend. My proposition is going to be that we do 3 rounds, and you get one keeper from your regular season team.
Okay.
No.
I'm okay with this.
Fine. What was my team again?
Okay, Sean, your team is Larson. You can take Larson, Blaney, Reddick, or Busch. Taylor's options are Chastain, Byron, or Bell. I have Hamlin or Logano
Okay.
as a keeper.
Okay.
And in the true spirit of keeper rules, whatever round you kept them in, since we're doing 3 rounds, is the round that you lose that pick in. So if Sean keeps Larson, he loses his first round pick.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess just a reminder, Sean, Larson, Blaney, Reddick, Busch is your order. Taylor, Chastain, Byron, Bell is your order. And mine is I lose a second or a third.
I have mine.
Okay.
I have mine.
Okay. Sean, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll take Reddick as my keeper.
Good call. Okay. Taylor.
I will take Byron as my keeper.
Okay, and I'm gonna
Absolutely.
take Hamlin. So Taylor and I lose our second. Sean, you lose your third.
So I want to point out of the guys I have bet on for the championship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You're going
Byron, Hamlin, or the other two.
Okay.
Great.
So
All right.
oof.
So, shit. So,
Taylor
do we
should
want to
get first
give
round pick, right? Because she won.
first overall? Sure.
Yeah.
Technically, if it's the worst team, I should get first. No.
Yeah,
got
but
first.
it's Taylor.
Taylor goes first.
What's that supposed to mean?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, Taylor, go ahead.
I'm going to choose. Wait, hold on. Can I ask a question? Are we allowed to choose other people from our teams?
Yes, you can
Yes.
pick. It was literally just
Anyone,
you're
everyone
gonna-
now. Okay.
Yep,
So I'm going to choose Chastain.
Chastain, okay.
Hmm.
Sticks with the first round pick from the regular season. Sean,
Hmm.
if we're doing this order, go ahead.
I will go Truex.
Truex, okay. No real surprises here, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I am going to take the hottest guy coming into the playoffs in Chris Buescher.
Okay.
Don't like that pick.
No?
Nope. What are we doing? Snake, or we're going back to one? Back to Taylor.
Well, if it's Snake, technically you get the pick now.
Okay. All right, because you guys.
Yeah, because we both lose our second.
Yep.
So I pick either
This is
way.
this is the fun.
So again, when it comes to the playoffs, it's all about being hot at the right time. Byron was hot earlier in the season. He's kind of lost that.
Yep.
Buescher's hot now, but he's not going to be hot in the playoffs. So you want to pick a guy who hasn't really been hot yet.
Okay.
So for
where's this going?
my third pick, I'm going to pick a guy who I think might get hot all of a sudden.
Okay.
Is this the NFL draft?
Ryan
Am I
Blaney.
waiting for like
Ryan Blaney.
Okay.
I'm like waiting for music to pop up and like Roger Goodell's gonna walk out on a stage or something and like start pausing every 2 seconds.
And commercial break.
Yep.
And the pig is in.
So who's next? How does this work now?
It'd be Taylor.
So that's you two, because I picked this round.
Yep. Taylor and then me.
Okay. I am going to choose someone who just squeaked in to the playoffs. I'm going to go for Bubba.
It's a bold choice.
Fair enough.
Considering that, again, what was the stat last year? Like 90, it's like something like 90% of the time the last guy doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Or the bottom four
Well,
don't make
you
it.
never
Whatever it
know.
is. Whatever it is.
You never know. You never know.
Am I gonna do what I did last time? I think I will. I'm gonna steal Sean's pick and Kyle Busch.
Fair enough. That's not
Okay,
even
fair
I
enough.
Well, from your team originally.
I know, it's fair.
If we want to do a fourth round, we can do a fourth round, which is just blank.
Let's go for it, because I got one more out there.
Okay. Well, and then we each get
4 guys for 16.
4 guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
No, but
No,
there's
'cause
4,
that's
4,
not-
4, 4. So you get our team, and there's like the field, which is going to be everyone else. And if we lose to the field, we suck.
Yes. I was gonna say, Sean, your math is not mathing there.
Let
but
me
okay.
get to it. Come on.
Yes.
Okay,
You're
so-
not the strongest at math, okay?
So, Steven, you're up then for 4th round?
I am up.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what do I want to do here? Okay, Sean kind of made the point about getting hot at the right time.
Haha.
Yes.
And this guy, let's just say he got really hot at the end of last year. I'm going to go bet on repeat magic with Chris Bell.
Okay. I'm going to bet on a guy that doesn't have a win this year. And he's going to get hot for the playoffs. Kind of like what Chris Bell did last year. Brad Keselowski.
It's Keselowski or fucking
Okay, who's
Harvick.
left?
So,
yeah.
you have Harvick.
Mhm.
You have
Harvick's the Cinderella story of the winning
yes.
and retiring. That is the fun one. You have
you have
Stenhouse,
Stenhouse,
McDowell.
Okay.
McDowell.
McDowell could be one to get in on the Roval if he makes it to the second round.
He needs to make the second round.
Yeah.
Or there's Logano. Those are your 5.
Yeah, Logano.
Who won
McDowell.
last year? Did Logano not win last
Yeah,
year?
Logano did. None of us are taking the return champion.
Okay,
Ugh.
I'm gonna take Logano because you never know.
I would have taken Harvick, but sure.
What? You never know what happens in the playoffs.
Honestly,
Anything
yeah.
can happen.
No, it's true. Logano only has 1 win this year. And again, if you get hot at the right time for the playoffs, yeah, that isn't terrible.
Get hot at the right time.
He is an underdog going in.
I don't have any hope that I'm going to like win anything beyond the regular season, so who knows? But if we all lose to the field, that's going to be terrible.
Also, goddamn, Bubba's been consistent the last 7 weeks.
What if Bubba lights up?
Honestly,
You never know.
he's been
You
unlucky
never know.
most this year.
Yeah. And sometimes
Yeah.
it just takes a little bit to get a little luck.
Yep. And I think I saw a note on this earlier. I don't remember fully, but I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch of crew shuffling, and maybe that helps eliminate some of the bad luck.
Yep.
Right. So, because I know they've had some trouble, or 2311 has had some trouble this year in terms of just pit lane luck. Reddick has been a huge storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they should make the all-star team, considering. Well, no, they can. Oh, they can shuffle from Gibbs. I was gonna say they can't really shuffle from Reddick, but they could shuffle. And if anything, they'd shuffle to Reddick away from Bubba, just on odds.
Yeah, it's
but
fair.
Who knows?
Well, we'll see.
Yep, we shall see. That everything.
I think so. Well, there's one thing I was going to mention, but I kind of forgot about. But it's fine. I'll bitch to you guys about it afterwards.
Just get it out.
It was the one thing in the F1 race. And it was one little thing that really pissed me off was George Russell's radio. We were forecasting for a podium. What happened? George, fucking race the race.
Yeah.
What like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that pissed me off. Just being like, excuse me, I was supposed to have a podium. What is happening? How did you guys screw this up, George? It's not on your fucking team. It's also on you as a fucking driver.
Oh, I know. I heard that and I was like, wow, you're so humble, George. I see you're really growing as a driver.
Yeah, so.
With his head so far up his own rear that he can't see his own faults.
Yeah, pretty much. Yay. And on that note, I think that's all we have for this week. So thank you very much for listening if you've made it this far to hear us bitch about George Russell. And we will be back next week to talk all things motorsports again. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.